And welcome to this very special episode of the Empower Man podcast. Happy Memorial Day. Is it a happy holiday? It's happy to those that love this country because we could reflect upon those that sacrificed everything so that Greg and I can be here. So we use this day to reflect about how great this country is, how great our military is, how great our first responders, our EMTs, and everyone else that protect and defend us. So for those that do believe, hopefully you all believe that, happy Memorial Day. Hope you're all having a great, safe day and a great, safe weekend. It's your boy, Mikey G, coming to you live from the free state of Florida, the new home of Steve Ducey from Fox and Friends, where they had the first Fox and Friends Floatopia. I am rocking my New York Knicks shirt because they did come back from 20 points down to beat the Indiana Pacers last night. Now 2-1. Hopefully by the time we do a next episode, we'll be talking about the NBA Finals. But I'll tell you someone who has a connection with the NBA Finals. He may not have had the primary serving, but someone had his secondary serving of someone who works in the NBA. Woo! I went there. I did go there. So Greg is a 6-time NBA champion. And for those that can read between the lines, read the fine print. Greggy T is not only Jockey's most famous underwear model, but he has definitely dived into the world of the Real Housewives of the NBA. Ooh. Just saying.
Oof. Wow.
Anyway.
Gonna get a lot of questions on that one.
He's the parent, the patriot, the champion of the Second Amendment. And if you have any questions about Greg's love life, please DM us at Empowerman Podcast.
DM Mike.com,
or you can just give us a tip somewhere. He's my brother. He's your brother. But more importantly, he is the man that plants the flag wherever he goes. He's the flag bearer for Empower Man. More importantly, he is the co-founder, if that's correct, if I apologize, of Sunset Rum 305.
That's right.
And we're all going to get drunk on that soon. Driving the boat in the Intercoastal.
Very soon.
He is the man who invented the slam dunk. Greg A. Tedora, numero uno. Greg, I tell you, if that wasn't a hot intro, I don't know what we can do to top that.
I mean, you definitely came in guns blazing on that one. So well done. And I have absolutely no comment. I'm not answering any questions regarding that, but it is all true. Just saying, Mike knows his facts.
Shooting at the walls of heartache, bang, bang, That's am it. The warrior.
That is it. Good evening, everybody from the Northeast, which we all know I love so much. And I just want to echo what Mike said about Memorial Day. It's a very big day for us, and extremely thankful for all the men and women that have served, that are serving here overseas, that do your part, all the families, the Gold Star families. Thank you for making the ultimate sacrifice. It's appreciated every day from guys like Mike and I.
Yes.
So, thank you.
And also to everyone out there, I think it's also a great day to reflect upon what our country has gone through. Let's look at history, go back, review, check out the Revolutionary War. You check out Vietnam. I mean, any conflict that made this country persevere, any conflict that made this country resilient, any conflict or any strife that this country went through to be where we're at right now today in 2025, take this day as a day of reflection. We all know, Greg and I did when we were younger, Memorial Day weekend was one big party, but really what we should be doing is celebrating those that made the ultimate sacrifice for us so that we can talk to all of you.
Correct. Well said, Mike. Well said.
Well, Greggy T, I only had 2 cups of coffee today. Slacker. Yeah, I am. And my computer had all its updates, so it should be good.
All right. I'm with it. I am with it.
And I've only got 7 spam calls today, which is good.
That is good. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to, in my opinion, the best motorcycle builder ever, Billy Lane from Choppers Inc. Love his work. And when the rum is up and running, I will be getting a custom bike built by him. I've always wanted one, And that is a promise I made to myself a very long time ago. So shout out to Choppers Inc. and Billy Lane. I can't wait to get that. Anyway.
And on my hat, it says the Ocean Club of Four Seasons Resort, Bahamas.
How the other half live?
What
I'm a
gonna do
motorcycle
is-
guy and you're bougie.
I am very my middle name is Bougie. I'm gonna
Right.
take your rum to the Bahamas, and I'm gonna put it at the Four Seasons.
Let's do it.
And
I'm
when
with it.
someone asks me, "What's that rum?" I'm gonna
Wow.
say it's the 305,
It's the 305. That's it.
and then I'm gonna play Pitbull, and then I'm gonna say, "Forget about your boyfriend and meet me at the hotel room."
Who is a good dude?
Yes.
He like outside of the spotlight, great dude. One of my really good friends is very, very close with him. Stand-up guy, man. And I don't say that often. Definitely a stand-up dude.
Well, didn't he knock somebody out on stage? Someone tried to get on stage. I don't know if you saw that video years ago.
I don't know if he knocked him out, but he definitely gave it to him.
He gave it to him.
Yeah. I mean, that's a free pass, so you might as well.
Awesome.
You're not going to get in trouble for it.
I would.
I would definitely do it. So, anyway,
I saw Pitbull in concert at the old Roseland Ballroom by our apartment.
let me tell you something. Between you and I, there's a roster of epic concerts that we have been to. If we combine every show you've been to, every show I've been to, it's a very, very interesting list.
Yeah. And here's my question. When these guys go, who are you going to go see? I mean,
Who do you see? I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I know AC/DC is touring somewhere, and I'd love to see AC/DC, so I'm hopefully going to find out where they're playing and go check them out.
I would see them.
I think Axl Rose was singing with them because their lead singer, well, I know their lead singer had some was it Brian Johnson? I think he had some hearing issues or something like that because it was so loud that I think he lost some of his
Makes
hearing.
sense.
So Axl Rose was stepping in. Who
Good old Axl Rose. 50
know,
feet. Yeah, I got one of those.
Exactly. Didn't we see him at
Allegedly.
some restaurant? We saw him at some restaurant.
Can't talk about that.
I can't
That's
remember.
off. That's that. Yeah, yeah, we saw him.
It was so
Oh
long
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
He had
we'll
that
skip right over that.
That long hair. It was ugh.
It was when you touched upon this before, when I didn't learn to pace myself yet. That's when we ran into him in the city. It wasn't pretty. Anyway, start the show.
If it makes you feel any better, I could never pace myself. I just built up a better tolerance.
Yep.
Now I pace myself. Now, I had a nice glass of Macallan 12 on Saturday night. This restaurant over here by my apartment I could walk to. Let me tell you, it was so relaxing to just sip on something instead of just slamming it down. It was just so nice.
I haven't had one of those in a minute. That's a good drink right there.
It's perfect. And then I went right to sleep. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. But what I wanted to touch upon tonight, and I think you can take it from here.
Oh boy.
But I think I see there's this growing trend of people, because men and women, they're both culpable. It's like they get scorned by a lover, they get cheated on, they get hurt, they get devastated by a partner that's now their ex, and they go on social media and they do these rapid transformations where everything is changed or has had work done.
Alterations, Mike. Alterations.
Thank you, Greg. This is why we're partners.
I've lived in Boca a long time. It's alterations.
It's crazy, man. It's like you see people and don't get me wrong, we're guys. So of course we see something and oh, wow, she's attractive, or she has a great body, or she has this, or she has that. But when you get beneath the surface and you start looking at pictures, you're like, holy smokes. It's almost like a form of self-mutilation in a way. I mean, it's like there's nothing wrong with building your body up. I'm all for it. It's the business I'm in, and I'm all for it. But I think there comes how far are you willing to go? just to seek validation from an ex who might come across your stuff on social media. Oh,
Mhm.
wow, she looks hot or he looks good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never kind of like followed those lines. Like when I think things have happened to me, I just hibernate and I just quietly go about my business. And then when
Yeah.
I'm ready to go back into public, I do. What are your
Mhm.
thoughts on that, Greg? Is that a trend that you're seeing these days now on social media? We talk about social media, the pros and the cons, the optics, and what people want to put out there, what people want you to see. But I feel like this trend is growing more and more. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's growing because social media gives it a platform to grow on. So it's just like instant feed to grow it. So before social media, there was no way to get, like, when you were saying all those things, when somebody breaks up and they have alterations done, it's they're just looking for validation, attention, and they're just living their lives via whatever they're feeling that day. Girls tend to do this a lot more than guys, just a fact. And social media gives them a platform to get the likes, get the comments, whether good or bad, they don't care, because any publicity is good publicity, they always said, even if it's negative, because people are talking about you. And it just gives them more access to validation, self validation, attention, all of that. So it's that instant, instead of going through the feelings of, or the process of the feelings of feeling like shit when you break up, no matter what happened, it could be
Right.
an amicable breakup or it could be like a horrible breakup. It's still a breakup at the end of the day, and it sucks. And you have to go through that emotional roller coaster. Hopefully, you have a good set of friends to help you through that. And th- nowadays, with social media and all that, it doesn't allow the person to naturally go through all that. It's just that instant, oh, let me throw this picture out there and let me throw, oh, look at this surgery I had now. I'm like, I'm a boss babe, or I'm a new woman, like, I'm strong and empowered. You just had a surgery, but people, there's creepy guys out there and there's loser guys. So you're going to get the, oh, you're so pretty, like, you go girl, like all of that. We all know that's a shine fest and that they just want one thing, and that's all it is. But it's not good in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, look,
But it's the culture nowadays. It's all it
right.
is.
And
Everyone
you
does
see,
it now.
and you see the shows on television, we've talked about this in
Horrible.
prior
Yep.
episodes
Hmm.
where like they promote plastic surgery, like it's
Of
a good
course.
thing.
Of course.
I don't begrudge anyone that gets that. I've always felt that beauty comes from within,
Hmm.
right? You could be the hottest person in the room, but you could still be angry. You could still be depressed. You can still be full of
And a
like
real man
rage,
sniffs and
right?
sees right through that. They'll smell that. I don't care how, like
Yeah,
you said, you be the hottest thing in the room. I can read you in 2 seconds and want nothing to do with you. Nothing.
right, right.
And that's not being cocky. I know you know that. But for the listeners, we're not being super cocky or anything. This is just being aware and in the game a long time, and with experiences, you can see right through that. Plus, we have friends that are girls that have done that. So we are on the inside of it as well. And it's all a front. All the hard girls are the first ones to crack and break and are emotional. The tough girls. Nope.
Yeah, and
Nope.
and it's just kind of, I don't know. I think it's kind of a shame that when we were, I know, like, well, I didn't really handle things the best when I was younger, but I think like
I didn't either.
I mean, when I went through a breakup, I'd go out and drink and try to see what I could find,
Of course.
to
Of
fill the
course.
void. Or I would travel, or I would, now like 46-year-old me is like, okay, well, you know what? Like, if something happens, like now that I'm rooted and I have a solid foundation, it's like, well, if I go out and do X, is that going to really make me happy? Like, I could go out and do, let's just say, for example, someone breaks up with me because I don't look good enough, maybe muscular wise or whatever. I'm just
Hmm.
hypothetical. So am I going to go like, all right, I'm going to go on to do a cycle of steroids. I'm going to go get some stuff. I'm going to come back jacked and big and ripped. I, I could take that route because
Of
it's
course.
easy,
Hmm.
right? I just got shoot myself up. 3 months, I'm a different person, or it's 8 weeks
Yep.
or 12 weeks if I diet and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just be like, all right, well, you know, let me understand that other person. We talked about this values, right? So basically, that person was using my inadequacy to validate something about her because deep down inside, she's hurt and I was kind of a punching bag. Because it really it should matter what you look like. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're attracted to, different types of people,
Yeah.
but real beauty and real confidence comes from within. Like at
Mm-hmm.
this phase of our life, I don't give a crap what people think. If either I'm tall enough, short enough, big enough, fat enough, rich enough, poor enough, this is me. You like it, great. If not, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to get to meet people, get to know them, everything else. But I feel that nowadays the optics are such a way for validation. Help me out, Greg. Help me understand this better. If if that's the way people handle things like
Mm-hmm.
this, do you think their capacity to handle greater things can be compromised?
Of course, most of them can't handle real life situations or complexity of the problems anyway. No, because they're going to expect the same outcome with an actual real problem where they're going to post something or whatever and they're going to search for this quick validation. There's no quick validation with financial problems or, I don't know, eviction or your car gets repossessed. Like, good luck doing what you did on social media to help that out. And that's just certain problems. I mean, what happens if there's a death in the family or something happens or a sickness? It's not going to, no, it's not going to help them at all. It's more hurtful than anything.
Like, why do you think there's this incessant need to be validated? Like, why does everyone feel the need to have an external influence validate themselves?
Because that's the way the world is right now. And you can just back it up from that. The nuclear family's not as strong as it was. Families aren't as strong as it was. I sent you that diagram, I believe it was last week, where from the what was it, from the 50s or the 40s to now, and they broke down like spending time with family, school, whatever, and they broke everything down. And the internet, until it was invented, all of a sudden just skyrocketed up to first place. So this is a long-winded answer, but you back it up and it's lack of family, lack of a real mom at home, lack of a real dad at home. And then the school systems are fucked up, if you ask me. They're a mess, the public school system. And all these things don't track well because people are searching for consistency and something like grounding or anchoring for them. When there's nothing there, you're reaching for anything. Any lifeline you can get, any life preserver you can get when you're treading water or quicksand or drowning, you'll grab anything. And this is just the quickest thing to grab because it's so easy to just grab this. You like this case? Just grab this
Yeah.
and shout out Carved. They're awesome. Check them out. This is a one of one. They're all handmade by artists. Anyway, it's so quick to take a quick picture, filter the shit out of it, which most of them do a caption, and then here it comes, just flooding in. And with girls, it's easier to get attention because there's a lot of loser guys out there, and it's very different when a guy posts something and a girl posts something. Their inboxes are probably always hit up. Their DMs, oh, I slid into the DM. They're probably loaded with messages. And so they're searching for something, clearly. But it's all they're searching for something they think has meaning or substance. Meanwhile, none of that is that. There is nothing there. That's just more white noise. So it's a long answer to that.
No,
But I think like lack of family, and then you add in propaganda, you add in what's on TV, you add in the music, you add in the culture. Now you add in government stuff. It's just piling into the wrong direction, but it's all leading towards that.
Yeah. And I'll follow up with that. We talk about optics and social media
Hmm.
the pros and cons, but also there's an optic out there about what a man is supposed to be
Yeah.
and what a woman's supposed to be.
Yeah.
A man's supposed to be
A
worth
high value
millions,
woman, Mike. A high value. I'm a high value woman.
right?
Hmm.
Right.
I mean, there's a saying. I think it's pretty accurate. When a guy breaks up, he tries to like double his net worth, and when a girl breaks up, she tries to double her body count because that's in this same realm of validation, attention, acting off feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions aren't necessarily that real. You can't make certain strategic decisions purely off emotions and feelings. There has to be some sort of tactical, concrete thing to guide you, my opinion.
Yeah. And we'll throw one at you too. I think back in our toxic masculinity days, it was always, at least for me, it was always the more you were validated by the more people you could be with,
Not
right?
necessarily. I just think by
Right.
some guys do that. Not all guys care about that.
Right. Not all, but that's the way that what I saw. So that's why, for
Hmm.
me, that's what was never always look for the next best thing. Always
Hmm.
move on to the next, to the next, to the next.
Hmm.
So I think when we talk about body count, I think the same can apply for guys as well. I mean, how many people do we know after they broke up with someone, they would go on a little spree, and then they'd find that one and they'd settle down. So do you think it's a double edged sword, or do you think it's more guys and girls? Or do you think it's about the same?
I think now it's more girls do it than guys, just because I just think the environment's catered towards that right now. Meaning, when you go on social media, it's all about girls upping their body count. You have these. I don't want to talk about this. The OnlyFans shit, which is like I can't stand it. From a business standpoint, all good. Make your money, but call it what it is. I actually miss, and we know a bunch, like a real old school porn star. You are not a porn star. There's a difference. It's like, oh, you're a local Broadway actress or you're a Hollywood actress. They are different. I'm not hating on either. One's different than the other. You're not there. And when you do OnlyFans, you're just opening up the entire world and letting them in. To me, I'm sorry. That's horrible. That's disgusting because you can't ever take that back.
It's true.
So I think, but that's cool nowadays. That's my point. So the environment is making it okay for that. You have all these girls going to the extremes now. They're banging 1,000 guys in a day, 500. They're upping the ante. Young girls in junior high school and high school, there's a percentage of them, and it's probably higher than I even know, that look up to that. Or that now that, like you always say, it desensitizes them to it. So now, oh, I did 1,000 guys in 24 hours. Literally, this girl did this. She's all over the internet now, making money off it, whatever. Now, certain girls look up to that. They're desensitized to it. And now it's normalizing. They used to say that about the violence in our music when we were younger and in the movies we watched as a kid. It desensitizes you to it. So it's no big deal. You can't tell me that's not part of a bigger agenda.
Of course.
And I think the environment is cool now for women, girls to do that. I'm not saying guys don't do it, but it's actually wanted now for women to do it. It's enticed. They're enticing them to do it, and it's bad news. It's bad. Nothing good's going to come out of that.
Well, one thing I can say that is you're seeing a rise again, whether it's the optics of it or not. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people turning towards faith or religion. You see a lot of people going down that road, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. It's still getting it out there, and I think you're seeing a lack of. We talk about morals and decency and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I also feel like a lot of people they don't get validation from the one that created us, right? Like I'm not going to change. I'm going to get old. I'm probably going to have wrinkles.
I am old.
I am. Well, you'll always be 6 months older than me.
Mm-hmm. Gary's the oldest.
Gary's the oldest. I'm going to have gray hair. Hopefully I still have a head of hair. I mean, I don't think, and again, I'm not judging or criticizing anyone that does plastic surgery or enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you. I just feel that, what? I was made perfect in God's image, and all the years that you're chasing that validation, when you stop and realize, wow, you know what? I'm good just the way I am. That's me. Like, I'm not rich. I'm not poor. I'm not tall. I'm not short. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not fat. I'm not muscular. But for what I am and where I am,
Mm-hmm.
I'm perfect. What are your
So,
thoughts on that?
yeah, I agree. I'll quote Carol T on this one. Growing old is a privilege. She's always said that. And she always says, don't mess with Mother Nature. And I agree with that. Listen, somebody wants to get plastic surgery or all that. Okay, that's your decision. You're an adult. That's your choice. That's your right to do that. I disagree with it because it's elected surgery. Anything could go wrong when you're under. You might not wake up. Yes, I know the odds are in your favor, but you never know. You could be on the other side of that. And growing up, plastic surgery when we were younger, it was a good job when you couldn't tell that they got it. Nowadays, it's actually cool to see that you did get it. And the work nowadays is horrible compared, I think, back in the day.
Yeah.
And also, you see a lot of these older women, they get their facelifts for the second, third time, whatever. And now you're going to see this, especially down there. I see it all the time. I see it up here too. When you fuck with your facial structure and your muscles, when they pull everything back, there's nerves around here in your eyes. And once you know this, once you clip a nerve, can't put it back. So now these women have like a weird eye. It's either droopy or it takes another half a second for it to catch up to the other one, or it's a little bit more closed than this one because you can't get that back now. And it looks silly to the people that are realizing that. I notice it all the time, and I know what they had done. And also, I know people that like Botox. Unless it's like for like a medical reason, which they have medical reasons for, cool. It's poison, literally. It's just a paralyzing agent. You're just putting it in there. If it makes you happy, go for it. Do you know where that batch came from? Do you know where it's made? Do you know where that compound is made? An actual compounding pharmacy, or is it made in my bathtub? And Joey Gavone friggin' sold it to your dentist who does fucking Botox injections on a Wednesday serving shitty Bellinis. Just saying. Just saying. It happens all the time here. And you can tell it's a joke. It's a big money maker because all these women love it. You look dumb. And now, if you've noticed, younger and younger. Why are you in your 20s getting this? You should, your skin and everything, your body should be on point. There, you see these women talking, nothing's moving. You in their mouth, they're like a ventriloquist. They're talking, nothing's moving. You look silly, and I think they do. They don't do it for the guys. I think they do it for the girls. And I don't mean lesbian shit. I mean they do it for the girls' validation and attention, not for the guys. Most of the guys I know don't like that. They don't like that, and it looks silly. You know what it does? You'll look better from a distance. Like you'll catch an eye an extra 50 feet. But when you get closer, I'm laughing at you because I already know you're a mess.
Right.
You're just a mess, and I don't respect that. And it's becoming now trendy for these young girls to do it. It's not good. It's not healthy. And we don't have long-term studies on it either. And I'm not like a prude. You know this. I've been around and I've been out with people that have had a lot of surgeries, no surgeries, whatever. I can't stand it. I don't even like makeup. That's a whole other thing. But I think it's bad. But it's all leads down this same path of attention and validation and just acting off their feelings. That's all it is.
Well, let me ask you a question. So we got people out there that are listening that are probably struggling with self-approval and self-validation.
My hate fan mail is going to be big on this one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And again, if you do hate Greg, leave us a tip.
Yeah.
Or they can go to your link tree. Do you have a link tree set up yet?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
What advice would you give someone out there, guy or girl, that will be listening to this, that is listening to this, that will pop this on, that are struggling with self-validation, that are struggling with self-approval?
Do you mean physically, visually, or in general?
Just in general. Because remember, thoughts are going to capitulate actions, right? If I think about, gee, I'm fat, I'm either going to diet, I'm going to go on Ozempic, or I'm going to do something so drastic that when I reappear, people are like, oh my God, holy smokes, Mike, you look amazing.
I'm glad you brought that up. Mm-hmm. If anybody's listening and has not gone on Ozempic or the other ones that are all in that same family, please don't go on it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving doctor advice, whatever disclaimer I have to say here. But that shit will kill you. Wait till the long-term studies come out. It's so bad for your body. Just to look you look skinny fat. There's such things called skinny fat. I say this all the time. Girls love being skinny. Oh, I'm skinny. I'm skinny. Yeah, you're also fat. And everyone's like, what do you mean? She's so thin. Because you're loose. You can be skinny fat where you're not tight and you can be as skinny as you want, but if it's just the skin looks like it's melting off, it's gross. I rather have a healthier, plumpier person that's, has more fluff and realness than a skinny fat person. I think it's disgusting. Disgusting.
And then that also domino affects a lot of psychological issues too, because you're going to be so dependent upon Ozempic, you're going to be afraid to eat or do anything.
And here's the thing.
Without it.
What if, because I know some people that were forced to stop taking it. Now, like you just said, the psychological thing, you were dependent on it for a year, 2 years, you lost all this stuff. Now you cannot take it. It's like the guys that do juice. They get messed up and they get off it and they freak out. And then it just spirals and spirals and it's bad. Going back answering the question, what would I tell people that are struggling with that? You got to find what the core issue is that's making you feel like that. Is it a financial thing? Is it a physical thing, like I asked you? Is it a family thing? Is it there's going to be one main thing that everything branches off. You got to try to find the main thing. I'm not saying like don't get the low-hanging fruit and fix a couple things real quick. You got to get to the root of the problem. Maybe it's like, I don't know, something happened when you were a kid or a trauma somewhere. I don't know. Or maybe it's as simple as you're just not happy with your body. And then here comes the excuses. Well, it's expensive to eat healthy. Listen, you can get lean on a diet and do it on a budget. There are ways. You got to find out what the core problem is, because you'll never, go down the right path of healing or fixing yourself if you don't know what you're trying to heal or fix. So
I like that.
You got to get to the root.
And once you get to the root, you got to make sure that you filter your eyes with good, positive, but more importantly, like real, tangible resources. Whether it's writing down in a journal for every bad thought you have about yourself, write a good thought. Mm-hmm. Remember, the brain plays tricks on us, but it's also these spiritual forces that we talk about that penetrate your mind, tell you that you're not good enough, tell you that you're not worthy. And it's just kind of just having the discipline of getting up. Okay, my voice says I am not deserving. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that I deserve someone who's whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because you got to train your mind like a muscle. There's no going to be, I'm sorry, people can take antipsychotics. I can see if you have extreme episodes, depression, anxiety, all that. Mm-hmm. You do not need medication. You need, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, but I've got plenty of experience in this, you need to exercise, you need to eat right, you need to get sleep, You need to like funnel your mind with good things, whether it's going to church, reading the Bible, being around, go join a yoga class, be around good people. We talk about this. Show me 5-year friends, I'll show you your future. Evaluate your circle. If you have someone that's kind of like, indicated of what you're looking for, remove yourself from that situation. You got to have the strength somewhere to say, hey, I'm going to make a change. Because remember, change talk, especially in coaching, what I do,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of ambivalence. I want to change, but they don't want to go through the steps. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I really want to lose weight, but then they're going to scarf down a pizza. Which, listen, it's not bad, but just know, like, hey, this pizza is going to probably take you further away from your goal. So if I don't want to be depressed or anxious or whatever I'm feeling, then I need to put the work in to change, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And people are so quick to come up with excuses. Do you think I want to work out every day? No. Do you think I want to jump in a pool and do this workout? No. But those are the days you got to go in. Life will get easier in other areas when you push yourself. Just doing the other day, I can count with both hands in my life workouts that I've left because I usually don't do that. Do I want to be there some days? No. I didn't want to be there the other day. I pushed through it. And you know what? I'm glad I did. And then I always remember, I said this a long time ago. When I was giving one of my speeches in front of the real estate agents, I love real estate. I hate real estate agents because they're all lazy, most of them. And they don't want to do paperwork. They think they're above it. They're too good for it. Their egos come in. And they don't want to do the extra work to elevate the next level of their business. Greg, I sold 10 houses this year. I want to sell 20. I'm like, that's great. Show me how you're going to do that. And 9 out of 10 blank stare. I'm like, okay. How'd you sell the 10? Oh, I did this, this, and this. Okay. Well, how do you think simplicity, how are you going to sell? How are you going to double that? You got to double the work. You got to do what's working and stop doing what's not working and double down on what is. And you got to come up with some newer ideas. And when this was a couple of years ago, I went to swim one night, do my laps, which I don't like to. I was a swimmer. I don't like to swim anymore. And I mean, I do, but you know what I mean. Train.
Mm-hmm.
And I was swimming, and then I saw this aid on the side of a pool. Like, you know how some handicapped people have aids that help them in and out of their wheelchair, or whatever. And there was a girl. She probably was our age. She had no legs from the knees down, and I think there was something wrong with both of her arms. So she was basically like a torso with a couple appendages. Mm-hmm. And they have that medical chair that brings them and lowers them into the pool. And I remember I stopped in the middle of my workout and I just watched her for a half an hour. It took her a half an hour just to get into the pool, just to get in. Didn't even start. And this is at night. And I'm sure she could be home, vegging out, watching TV, whatever. And she was showing her aide like, yo, get me in the chair and go away. Go sit. And the aide was cool, sat on the bench. Took her a half an hour to get into the pool. She swam on her own. I don't know how many laps she did. I wasn't counting. But she put her time in, maybe a half hour. It took her another 20 minutes to get out of the pool. So just do the math. Then think about it. She has to go home. The person has to shower her, has to get dressed. Every time I feel like not doing something, I remember that and I'm like, don't be a pussy. If she has the willpower and the capacity to push through all of the issues she deals with on a 24/7 basis, what fucking excuse do I have? I have none. And I floored the agents telling them that. They were like crying the way I was saying it because they all knew they were lazy and they were being pieces of shit. When this person would die to have the ability to do the extra work that you should be doing, that you're telling yourself all the excuses not to. I'll never forget that girl. I gave her like the biggest nod and like have a good night. Like I was still in the pool. She was so happy. She's like, thank you so much. I'm like, that was really cool what you just did. And like she was so happy. Like I don't know who says that to her. I have nothing but respect. That's one of the toughest people I've seen, straight up. I mean, just a time commitment. It's crazy. We have no excuse. So I wish more people had that mindset and had that push through barrier ability like she did. But
Right.
it goes back to the quick response, the validation, all the stuff, and the instant fix. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And I think people feel entitled to. They don't want to do the work. They
100%.
feel, you
No.
know,
But that's also social media. I deserve this, and that. Why do you deserve it? If you deserve that, what do I deserve?
right. Like,
I'm just saying.
hey, I always rock Jordan because he's a beast. And there's that guy's mindset. We will never see another force like Michael Jordan.
Him and Kobe had amazing mindsets. Period.
Amazing.
Period.
And I could watch him. I could watch The
Mhm.
Last Dance for hours on end because there's always something I pick up on about Jordan, about what a beast he was and what drove him. And that's the key to understanding other people is finding out what motivates him. Like what drives him. Like what makes you want to get up in the morning. I know
But you
you.
said, see, I was told I'm too hard on people. And you said a couple episodes ago, not you have to read the room. Not everybody responds to it like that, which is
Right.
true. Which is true. Like what works for me might not work for you.
Right.
And what works for you might not work for me.
Right. Which is why you got to understand individual driving factors. Like
Yes. Which
some
takes time
people
to
are,
find.
yeah. It's
Mhm.
yeah. And some people like I'm intrinsically motivated. I don't need someone yelling at me like, "Oh, come on, another lap, another lap." I already know I'm doing it. Like when I go and I do, like I told them at CrossFit, I said, "Look, I'm like, look, like when you yell at me, like or tell me to do something, like I shut down,
Hmm.
I get angry. I'm like, I already know what I'm doing. I already like, you know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
me. I know it drives me. And in my professional career, when I was working for a company, I had one manager that knew how to get the best out of me.
It's rare to have good managers.
And he just texted me the other day because he was in Italy with his family and saw a guy that looked just like me. And we still keep in touch to this day. He was an amazing. He still is an amazing human being, but he knew exactly the buttons to push. And when it comes to
Mhm.
leadership, too, leadership for yourself, leadership for your family, if there's an old biblical quote that rings true to this day, right? If you want to be a leader, you must learn to be the servant of others first before you can step into a leadership role. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm paraphrasing, but
Mhm.
and I think you don't see that type of leadership anymore. I don't. At least I don't see it. Maybe you do. I don't see it.
I rarely see it. I still get glimpses, like my friend that owns a swim academy here. I see it from her, but no, it's very rare to see that.
People feel like, oh, I'm too busy. That's my favorite. That's my favorite line ever. Oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
so busy.
yeah.
I forget to call people back. And I admit that. When I
Hmm.
like my buddy Todd, I called him up. Hey man, my bad. I forgot to call you back. Let's
Yeah,
connect. That's
yeah,
it. Just own up to it. Oh my God, Greg, I was so busy. I think some days our schedules are different. I can call you at 5 a.m., but you're sleeping. I'm up at 5 a.m.
yeah,
So it's like if you called me, I mean, even though it's never the case, and I call you back a day later, it's because our schedules didn't align.
yeah.
And I'm not going to wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
But don't be like, oh my God, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
That's a
But
bull.
that's all that lines that the self validation in the wrong direction,
Right.
which is basically the same thing as saying you don't have accountability. You don't hold
Right.
yourself accountable. So it's not good.
And I think you're slowly seeing, with the world changing, and even in the 5 months, the country start trying to get back on the right foot. Accountability starting to come back a little bit. Servant leadership starting to come back a little bit because pre pandemic, man, it was all about. I have books and these companies espoused leadership and accountability and crucial conversations and crucial accountability and the 7 habits of highly effective people and all these which is those are still great books, by the way. I mean, check them
Hmm.
out. But now I feel like these companies have gone away, and therefore products have been so diluted because nobody cares anymore.
No.
Because you don't have leaders in place or people that will hold people accountable, because we're all, I don't think you're too hard on people at all. I just think that everyone responds differently to different things, but you
Yeah.
have to find a way to motivate people to achieve a goal. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. I agree.
And some people just don't want to do the work, and you have to be okay with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
We're not God. We're not fixers. You can only coach somebody to a certain point,
Yeah.
and they have to make the choice to say, hey, I'm either going to try to make better nutritional choices, or I'm going to stay stagnant and be where I'm at for the
Yeah.
rest of my life.
No. Absolutely. I mean, I don't have hope. You do.
I do.
I just think this is a short term positivity in the world, or the whatever you just said. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think the people have the stomach for it. I really don't. I wish they did. Don't get me wrong. People are too soft nowadays. They really are. Unless in a couple generations it comes back, maybe it will. And that's, when I mean couple generations, I mean the kids that are in high school now or going into high school seem to have similar, or at least the closest in a while, outlook like we had when we were younger. So hopefully that generation, we got to get through all the shit first, and then they're up to bat. Hopefully they respond, but I don't know, man. I don't really have the hope.
Yeah, I don't either. And I think, when this is all said and done, perhaps in 2028, there'll be another different direction this country's going in. So again,
Yeah,
maybe use this time wisely to kind of like
make your
get
money,
yourself,
people.
get yourself together, because you don't know what the future holds. And then the cool thing is like, look, like no matter what position you are in life, you can't take this with you to the next phase.
Yeah,
Like you ain't taking this stuff to the great beyond. I'm not taking my car or my clothes or anything I have material wise. So stay present, live for today. Obviously you want to think about your future, but you want to just kind of like like that girl in the pool, right? It took her 30 minutes to get in that pool, but she was
just to
determined
get in. Oh,
to, and she
that
lives
girl
every
would
day to the fullest.
that girl
Guarantee
would
she will.
kill. Will claw through me to get into the pool. Ain't nothing stopping her. Nothing. I have nothing but respect for that. It's crazy. That's a killer mindset right there. I would love to hire her as like an agent or something, because you already know what she'll do, whatever it takes to get the job done. Period. Nothing stopping her. So, and like back to the what we were saying earlier, a lot of the OnlyFans, some of these girls are making wild money. Now, granted, they have agents, and it's people don't know the behind the scenes. There's like underground factories that pump up their page and all the content. But one of the girls buys her parents things and brings them on every once in a while on their social media. And people are like, yo, what a sellout, like da da da. Are you surprised? Because the parents are bought and paid for, right? But that shouldn't surprise you, because look at how their piece of shit daughter turned out. So it's actually on par, because any good parent, their kids aren't really doing that by choice. So, they're like, oh, the parents are bought and paid for, like they bought their house. That's cool. But that's just making the parents look like shit, because now it looks like they're okay with their daughter doing that, which clearly they are. So there's something wrong in that familial chain, or whatever the history is of that family. Something went wrong somewhere. Some wire got crossed where they're okay with that. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. And it's almost like a form of revenge in a way, because revenge kind of like mirrors validation,
Because
right? Like,
yeah, yeah.
good. Yeah.
They interview these girls like, oh, what do your parents think of what you do? And they're like, I just bought off their house. They love it. Bought and paid for. And there it is. Money's the value of everything. There's no morals, like you say. There's no foundation. And now the grandparents might have had it. Now the parents don't have it, so that chain is now broken. Now, where are they going from there? If she's lucky enough to have kids or get married, you're telling me there's morals and a foundation there? Absolutely not. No way. No way. So now it's broken. Just saying.
No.
And shame on the parents. I have no respect for that. None. You're bought and paid for, like everybody else. It's your choice, though. I'm not saying you can't do that. I just don't. I disagree with it, which is my right to do that, and your right to agree with it. So,
And I agree.
I'm getting old, Mike. I think I'm just getting old. I'm real grumpy.
No, I don't think that is all. I think you sent me this thing, or there. I read some interview or watched some interview where women are becoming more progressive and the men are becoming more conservative. It seemed like this. I saw that, and I can kind of get on board with that. I mean, especially as I get older, I get more conservative, but I also feel like I'm more grounded and more rooted. Obviously, everybody has a different path. Some guys get grounded and rooted a lot earlier in life, where they settle down, they have family and kids and whatever. No matter, like our friend Phil said to me once, it doesn't matter when you get to the dance as long as you show up. And maybe people have to experience all this stuff to come out the other side, because there are a lot of perils to this type of activity when revenge and validation are your driving factors.
Yeah. I mean, I was never into revenge on a girl, I mean, guys' situation is different. I hold on to everything, as you know, but I was never into like revenge if I broke up or any of that. I just think that's a giant waste of your time, and your focus is in all the wrong area. You need like you always say, you need to focus on yourself first, period. Don't focus on revenge or I gotta go get 5 girls. I gotta be seen out this weekend with this girl. That's all just noise and a waste of time, because like you said earlier, it's not getting you anywhere, and it's definitely not getting you to where you want to be.
Agreed.
It's not. It's a waste of time. Just for what? To show it, like shove it in her face. Like, who cares? You don't care about her anymore anyway. Move on. Turn the page. And this is my opinion. When you're done, you're done. Don't go backwards. My train goes one way. It does not back up. There is no reverse. So,
well, and I also think too that with that revenge, validation, but really what's beneath that is anger. Because I know for me, like,
yeah.
my motivating factors were, different when I broke up with people, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, when someone breaks up with you, cheats on you, whatever, they have the right to kind of do that. I know it sounds screwed up, but like they have a right to cheat on you. I mean, they have a right to break up with you. They have a right to do this
choice.
stuff. It's a choice. It's free will. People knowingly make choices. They choose knowingly and with free will to cheat on you. They know willingly to take something so good and shove it down the toilet. And there's
grass is greener, Mike. Grass is greener.
Grass is always greener.
Yeah, right.
So it's like you can be.
But here, going to what you just said, when you were younger and you said you were driven by anger or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's feelings. And my point is, when you're making decisions based off feelings, what's the outcome usually? Usually not good. That circles back to what I said earlier. When women break up, they act off feelings or whatever, and usually not good decisions are made. They're just not. I know for me, if I ever act off emotions or feelings, it's hell in a handbasket. It's a fucking problem. Nothing good's coming out of that. So,
yeah, and I'm going to go back to something you said a while ago. Anger is not a bad thing.
It's not.
If you can harness it in the right direction.
You got to control it.
You just can't harness it in a direction where it's counterintuitive.
It can be it could be jet fuel for your goals and your ambitions and your drive and all of that, if I had any of that. But it could be jet fuel for it. You just gotta, it took me a long time to tap into controlling it, because when we were younger, when I was younger, it was a little different. I'm not speaking for you, but I'll speak for you. If we could harness how we do it now, then man, it'd be great, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I can use it for some fuel now.
Absolutely.
And
And
motivation. I think it's some of the best motivation.
Well, and then, but again, that goes to what are you intrinsically or extrinsically motivated, right? You can use that anger. Like I still have a chip on my shoulder. I still
So do
think
I.
of things that people have had, but I don't.
Mhm.
I don't take it out on people. I use it for myself every day to get up,
Mhm.
go about my life, show up, be present, and you never know what opportunities can come your way.
Yep.
So and I think too when you start focusing on other things, whether it's making life changes or following a higher power, whatever it might be. I think you look
Mhm.
at things, you start looking at things differently. I had this conversation with somebody at church today. I have not, and we talked about this. I haven't fully surrendered to God yet. I want to.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
fully surrendered because I'm scared. I
I don't
don't
know what
know
that
what that
looks
looks
like
like.
though. Yeah,
I don't know either. But I see people that are happy all the time, and I'm like, why are they? How are they so happy? How did they get there?
drugs. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding. I'm kidding.
you know what I mean. But there's something real about it that, and I heard a testimony the other day about how one of my friends at church was 8 years sober, and
Mhm.
you reach a point where you're so low that you get on your hands and knees and ask God to take it away, and the next thing you know, stuff happens. I mean, he had to put the work in. Obviously, he just didn't say, "Oh, okay, well, God saved me, and now everything's peachy." No,
Yeah.
it's work.
I mean,
You
usually
know,
people when when they're at the lowest or in the most danger, that's when they'll
of course,
verbally, I think, surrender to God. But then, do they take the steps, like you said? Like, God, if you get me out of this, I'll never do this again. And then you get out of it, and you're like, "Yeah, peace." Like, and they don't act on it, which I'm not hating on. It happens,
yeah.
but
And one thing that
I
we lose
listen.
sight of. Yeah, go ahead.
What you said. Sorry to cut you off. What you
No,
said
you're good.
earlier, when a lot of people nowadays are going towards religion, church, whatever you want to call it. You said it earlier, but you said it's good because it's just bringing it to light. I agree with you, but only to a certain degree because you have to sift out all those phonies that are just doing it for clout and for attention. But I guess, like I said earlier, any attention is good attention, even negative. So
And I agree with you, but also like I'm not to judge someone's commitment to faith
I
because
understand that, but you know when
you know,
someone's full of shit.
I understand, but again, like the optics versus behind the scenes, maybe they really are trying, and maybe they're like you don't know. Like we talk about things offline about people
Stay
that are in the
prayed up.
public eye, right, right, right. But he's bringing it to light. So is it a bad thing?
Bringing it to
Nah,
an app, son. It's
right,
money.
of course, but you
No,
know
I know.
what?
I'm not.
If
I'm
it's
not gonna judge, but
no, but you're right, and I think one thing too, and I'll start wrapping my end up on this is we have to realize that people are human, and it's hard for me sometimes to realize that because I expect people to be like me, or I expect people to do
Mhm.
initially when we talk about feelings, well, if I treat you like this, you should treat me the same way. Well, not everyone's going to do that. Not everyone's
Yeah,
going to follow a set of principles or whatever to guide their life. And I think we have to realize that people are flawed. People are human. And if we expect too much from somebody, then we're setting ourselves up for failure. And we have to
yeah,
take people at face value and realize, listen, whether it's a guy or a girl, whatever they're putting out there on social media, we know that it's just the optics because we don't know what battle they're going through behind closed doors. They obviously need some type of validation or some type of sense of approval. They need that type of, okay, I can get a guy. My ex-husband doesn't know what he missed out on. Or, my ex-wife now, she sees that I'm mega rich or I'm dating a super, like whatever it is that you want to put out there. The bottom line is that everyone has a hurt habit or a hang up and everyone's human. And I think as people, we need to keep that in mind. Not everyone's going to say the right thing. Not everyone's going to do the right thing. Not everyone's going to always be appropriate all the time. And we have to realize that people are flawed and people are human. And if we can understand that, hey, if 85% of the time people show you who they are and that 15 or 20% they're a little off, well, they're entitled to be off because they're human.
mm,
And somebody said this, I forgot where I read it. The only perfect person that walked this earth was nailed to the cross 2,500 years ago. And that's it. That's how I'm going to end my portion. Greggy T?
You're a lot nicer than I am. So I don't have too much faith in people or what they believe. I think everything's not everything. Most things are for a show. And, it's I don't buy it, but I'm not focused on that. So I'm just giving my opinion. So I just continue to try to be better a little bit every day, and no matter what I'm doing, and just trying to teach my girls how to navigate this crazy world. That's all I'm doing. Our core friends, our core group is small, but man, solid. That says a lot. Says a lot. So I that I love. I love that. So we could pick up anytime and shoot the shit, and we can call each other for help, no questions asked, and that's it. And that's rare nowadays because a lot of these people that are on here for show, they don't have that. Nope. So it's all good.
And time goes by quick, and life goes by in the blink of an eyelash. I mean, we're going to be halfway through the year next month.
Yeah.
We'll be 6 months into the year. Next week is June 1st.
Yeah, man.
And time goes by faster and faster. And just like, again, I don't mean to step in, but like I cherish this time.
Yeah.
Cherish your conversations. Be present. Everyone's so quick to look at their freaking phone.
Nobody's for the parents up here in the Northeast.
Oh, God,
man, put the phone down. Put the phone down and be present with your goddamn kids. They are watching.
It's awful.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm going to do a whole episode on that. It's disgusting to me. I'm also in like the epicenter of shitty people and optics and keeping up with the Joneses and finance dorks and all that. So it's a mess. Whatever.
Yeah.
No respect for that.
Yeah. And I think to everyone out there seeking revenge on an ex because you want to look better, that's great. Do it for yourself. But also really dig deep inside and figure out like what's the real cause, and will a enhancement really make you happy? Is it temporary or is it long term?
And it may be okay short term to use that as quick motivation, but use that to catapult into real motivation. Like maybe you hit the gym because you were pissed and you're trying to shove it down their throat or whatever. That's fine. Initially, short term. But keep it long term, switch it where it's not the hate fueled, but it's now like, oh, I actually feel good. I like these results. And now it's lighter on you and not as much pressure to show what you're missing. And I feel good. I'm getting in better shape. I'm getting stronger. My lungs are feeling good. I can do this more. I feel now that's turned into something positive. So maybe use the negative for a short term. Just don't use it for a long term. I don't know. Try your best.
And that's the operative term. Just try. Just show up.
Or just stop dating assholes. No, I'm just kidding. It's hard enough. It's hard enough.
Or marrying.
Yeah, that's hard. It's hard. They're like snipers, man. You can't see them. You just can't see it.
Makes me happy to be where I'm at, pal.
Hiding, smartest one in the group. They're hiding in plain sight. Smartest one in the group. I say it every episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, just think. Where would we be less than 10 years ago on this night? Be Montauk.
Yeah. We've been back in. Yeah, we're just going home from Montauk.
Yeah.
So I had to go to work. The Hampton Jitney.
The Jitney. Oh, boy.
For those in New York know, you know.
Yeah. The good old Jitney.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Good talk. Good talk.
Yes.
Hopefully some people that are struggling are listening, because that's all we're
Yeah.
trying to do is just help and give a different perspective, like Mike always says. So
And it's
don't
real
make the
talk.
mistakes we made,
Yeah.
because we
And
made
just
plenty of them.
and just know that, you know what? When I hang up, I'm probably going to make a mistake tonight, tomorrow, the next day. But having
Yep.
these conversations bring these issues to light, and it helps, believe it or not, it helps us more than it helps
Yeah,
others because it allows us to practice what we talk about. So,
absolutely.
and if you have any comments, questions, or want to
Hating
know
on
more about Greg's love life, Empower Man Podcast on Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook, drop Greg a line. He'll give you all the advice you could need and then some.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sign off here, Greggy T, because I did the Murph earlier, and you know
What
what?
was your time?
Yeah, I do the muff.
I've
I don't do the Murph. I do the muff. So
I've
like,
o-
yeah, yeah, I laugh.
I've only done one, and
That's
it
the best.
was, let's see, it was probably 8 years ago. I did it in 47 minutes. I have it somewhere. 46 minutes and a half, whatever. But I couldn't function properly physically easily a week and a half. And I'm not in bad shape. Man, it fucked me up.
I just can't do pull-ups.
Oh, I had like 12 bands. It's a lot of weight to pull up, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't do
It's a lot
pull-ups.
of weight. Pull-ups are my nemesis.
I can't do. I did
That and
40 and I
swimming
did
50
60
meters
rows.
underwater. Those two are my
Oh,
nemesis. Oof. Still not there yet. I'll get there.
and running. I hate running too.
These colors don't run. No. Nope.
Out of these colors.
They don't win either. Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Tomorrow night though.
boo.
Tomorrow night though.
I haven't watched a basketball game in over a decade. I could care less.
Used to be your favorite sport.
Used to be, I used to love it. I don't watch that shit anymore. Bunch of babies.
You can make a lot of money.
Yeah, and they blow it all in Miami
Yeah.
at Tootsie's, which is one of the greatest places ever. Anyway,
Not
all
as
right,
good as
enough.
mangoes.
Different, but yeah, Mangoes is still a classic, man. Many weird nights in there.
Clevelander.
And for anybody listening, only the real ones know there's a secret whole area in Mangoes. Have you been there? Because I've been there a few times. There's secret room and bars. Mm-hmm. High value, Mike.
I can't remember.
Secret room, sir. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
We will
signing
see
off.
everyone soon. Love
Yeah.
your country, love your neighbor, love your friend, love your family, and
Love
just be good
yourself.
to each other. Love yourself.
All right. Be
And on
safe,
that note,
everybody.
go Knicks.
Whatever. Be safe.